pink shirt, but I wanted to wear it. This is not the rundown. This is suited up. I'm so sorry. It's suited up. Yeah. So you may notice that we don't have a blazer on today. But you know what? It's suited up, relaxed this week. That's what it'll be. It's suited up, relaxed. My name's Chris Casper. It's an honor to be with you. We do this show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You say to yourself, "That's surprising." That is loud. It could be scary, right? And I'm happy to announce that I'm looking at my screen right now, and device settings are live for. I'm so excited! All right, so yeah, we are integrating direct integration for web if you use OBS or something like that. So we're implementing direct integration. This has been a project I've been working on for a long time, something that I have pushed for a very long time to happen. So if you're a web streamer or you're someone who wants to add a little more production value to your broadcasts, direct integration for OBS is now a possibility. So stay tuned on that. We're really excited. We can see right here, it thinks that it wants my microphone to be that, but it is not. And you know what? I'm gonna have to check that one later. I'm gonna check those settings later just to do a little maybe after show. But in the meantime, thank you so much for being here. We have a stacked lineup today. We have three awesome guests. One's a featured host. We have a controversial up and comer. It's been a little while since we've gotten saucy on the all suited up, but we're gonna do a little of that today because it is around Valentine's Day, which is the season of loving, I guess. I don't know. And then we have our third guest, LR1111, who has been a major supporter of this show and has been making a lot of waves in the community. So we're really excited to get to know her more, find out more about what she's been doing in this community. But let's go ahead and start things off. So if we can get Emerald Empress to request the box, I do appreciate that. Before we let her in, there's a couple ground rules that we're going to cover. You may notice that during these conversations, I can be a terrible streamer. This is not good. I don't recognize gifts. I don't say thank you. I don't welcome you to the broadcast. I'm not even wearing a suit jacket today. What kind of suited up is this? I can tell you what it is. It's one where we're doing our best. But at this time, we're going to let Emerald Empress in. Please understand that during the intermissions, we'll say thank you. And you got to stay tuned because we have two wonderful guests after her. So a lot to look forward to. In the meantime, though, please welcome to the show our very first guest, the one, the only, the featured streamer herself, Miss Emerald Empress. How you doing, Miss?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I know that you and I have a little bit of history working together on things, so it's fun to have you over on this side, not behind the scenes. But Emerald Empress,
Definitely.
yeah, for the people who are meeting you for the first time right now, let's just kick things off with one of the most pertinent things I would say about you is that you're a featured show host. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit of what that is?
So I'm a featured show host, and it is an attempt was made every Thursday at noon with Emerald Empress. We have a variety game show with trivia, acting, spelling, finish the lyrics, and drawing. It's super fun. Three contestants, and we have a brand new category for the two people with the least amount of points. It's called Create. I come up with a category like you you make a prince or princess outfit with a crown or happy new year's ball drop in 2 minutes. You have to find something in your house and create it. For Valentine's Day I did something a little bit different, and they had to create a Valentine's Day card with a poem in it. It was a little sweet, it was cute, and I actually inspired a friend to write a love note to their significant other, so that was fun.
Oh,
Yes.
check you
And
out. So something that's fun to highlight about your show as well is that it is not for what's the best way the highest of the talented types, right? It's all about this spirit of making an attempt. It's almost borderline comedy because people are having fun with it. Would you say it's fair to call your show comedy?
Yes, it can definitely be a comedy show with especially just drawing and the acting. You don't have to be good at it. You just have to make an attempt at it. It is great. It is super fun, and the people I have on my show, especially when they get out of their comfort zone with the acting and the drawing, we've had some people. do some great things and amazing things, and it is hilarious.
I love
Um,
that.
and
Love
then
that.
trying to guess the finished lyrics and stuff. Some of the answers are also very funny. So yes, I
Wow.
would say it is a trivia comedy game show. Yes.
It is a funny show. It's intentionally funny. This one's sometimes unintentionally funny, and that is Suited Up every Wednesday at 9. We still got two wonderful guests on deck. You don't want to miss any of it. Some of them have some controversial talking points too. But right now we're joined by Emerald Empress. And I know in our conversations that we've had together that the person that we see today in the box who's confident, a show host, who's an example in the streaming community, was not always that case. You had to learn to find that confidence. What would you say was a person that you were when you first joined? Because some
Yeah.
people may not know that person. Who was that?
The person when I first joined, I was Pop Princess. I was
That's
I was
the direction I was
Pop
going
Princess when I first joined. No,
to.
but the reason I said that, there's a reason I said it though, because as a featured show host, I now learned you're not allowed to have a name like that.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest name to kind of have, but I've learned, and but it was I started by just pressing that button. I had a name. I pressed that button. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea I wanted to become a streamer. I had no idea what this was. I pressed
Right.
that button and I was nervous. I had no idea what to happen. And then I started lip sync battles, and that was the first of my hosting career. And it was super fun. And again, anybody could do it. And that was the premise of An Attempt Was Made, that
Yeah.
anybody could do it. Anybody could lip sync. You don't actually have to have any musical talent. But in saying that, we weren't allowed to feature that show. So so I've grown as a streamer in 3 years. I'm actually having my 3 year anniversary party this weekend. This is my third year here. I've learned so much, and I've definitely grown from my last username to now Emerald Empress. It's definitely elevated it, just like my name. Um, and I am now no longer that nervous streamer who had no idea what they were doing. I'm on my top badge grind. I have a featured show, and I'm trying to do some positive things, especially in my stream. Trying to keep it, positive and a safe place to come into my live if you need to talk or something. Yeah.
So something that I really was gearing and steering that conversation towards was something that I knew you wouldn't bring up yourself because you're very humble. But I would like to give you credit for the transformation and confidence that you've had. Because in that first conversation that we had together a little while ago, you weren't sure of yourself in many ways. And I've seen you over time develop those confidence and talking skills. And you know what? If you make a mistake sometimes, that's all right. That means you're human. And I believe that you've seen that people are receptive to that. People are really receptive to the humility and to the authenticity of what can come with broadcasting. So congratulations to you on that. And by the way, if you've not hit the favorite button on Emerald Empress, who's in the box, she's our first guest out of 3. Still a lot of content. Still more content with Emerald Empress. Hit that favorite button on her. This is a really interesting point about you too, which I didn't know, is that you're a fraternal twin. So you have a sister, and you were born at the same time, but you don't look alike. Is that correct?
Nothing alike. We are totally different, and not even in our looks. We night and day. Two totally different people, to the point where sometimes we just don't get along the greatest because we have we're so opinionated and we're so alike that sometimes we just don't get along. But I love her, and yes, there's been so many times where like people even in my life have said you don't look like her. We've also had to struggle to find our identities. And I've also
Sure.
found on Meet Me, I've been able to find kind of who I am, what I've been able to do, and stuff like that. And my sister and I, we have two totally different paths in lives. And it's just funny how to see where two people who are born at the exact same time, where we can grow up in 34 years. And
Yeah.
it's very wild. We're two totally different people, like I said, night and day. Um, Even with looks, like she's skinny, I'm a little bit thicker, but we are. She's very educated, and I'm more hands-on and stuff like that. And when I to my learning and stuff like that. But
But being
it's definitely brought me to who I am now.
being your own person is something to celebrate, and I think it's interesting that you're a twin. You took it in the direction that I was going to go. Is even though you don't look alike, are you anything alike? And your answer is no, we're not, but we still love and we care about each other, and that's
Yeah.
exciting. Having a sibling is one of the most intimate types of relationships that you can have, and you were born at the same time, so that's just like a different level.
Yeah,
um,
like growing up we were like this, and then just kind of growing up we grew out a little bit, but we still grew together. So
Sure, sure. And I know that your sister isn't the only person that you care about. You're public and you're open about what your personal life is like off of the platform, which is not always the case. And sometimes people hide specific details about their personal life because they're afraid of how it'll affect their streaming. So I want to put you on the hot seat for a moment. This is suited up. Sometimes we get in those hot topics. You're
of course.
public about being in a relationship, and many streamers are divided on that topic of should you be public about being in a relationship? What if it hurts your monetization, your fans, things like that? Do you think that's fair? Do you think that if you were to not be public, you would want those types of fans that would only follow you if you thought you were single? What's your hot take on that?
So you wanted controversy. So
So let's go.
I'm not only in a relationship. I'm in an open relationship. So it makes it even more a little bit of a struggle to put it. But I am very open on the app about that as well.
Sure.
And my boyfriend and I, we live together and everything like that. I am not here to date anybody else or to look for anybody else, but I do let people know that we are in an open relationship because we are honest and that is what we do. But
Yeah.
when it comes to streaming, I am perfectly like, I'm not looking for anything like that. But there might be a little flirty in my life, and that's when people are be like, "What's going on?" And that is why it's super loud. It's super chill in my life sometimes, and it gets kind of personal. But also, I'm very open and honest. So if you guys ever want to talk about anything, you can come into my live and learn a little bit more about me. But yes,
Well, uh,
streaming with somebody and having him work from home can cause some issues, but uh, but we definitely work through it. Like sometimes he's like, "You've had enough, meet me," and I'll be like,
he says it. Hold on now. Whoa, that's a hot take. All
"Well,
right. I mean,
well, I'm on here for
I
16
come
hours a
I
day
mean,
sometimes.
tell me if I'm okay.
Well, I'm
I
on
want
here for 16
to
hours a day sometimes. You know."
16 hours could be excessive. I'd like to roll things back just for a moment, though, to dispel some misinformation or destigmatize, remove some of those preconceived ideas people may have about why someone would select to be in an open relationship. Now, I don't need to get into the details of what you do or who you're interested in or anything like that. However, some people may say, well, people are in open relationships for XYZ reason. For you, how do you describe your choice, or why is it something that you believe works for you in the dynamic relationship you have?
So my boyfriend and I, people will be like, "Oh, well, you don't love each other." No, that's not the case. We love each other.
Mhm.
I love his kids. I'm stepmom to his kids. I've been living with them for 4 years. I take care of them. We are a family together. But
Mhm.
there are things in life that not everybody can give you all at once. There are some
Sure.
things you like and some things you don't like, and some things you guys can give to each other for sure. And there's some things that you might need that someone else can't give you,
Mhm.
or someone else can give you that he might not be able to. Both of us have come to an agreement where there might be some things that we may like or may not like with other people. And
Yeah.
so we choose to do that with other people, but by ourselves, not together. And then when I come home, I'm back home with my boyfriend.
Mhm.
It's not like I'm dating somebody else. It's just, sometimes humans have other needs and other wants, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe
I
not
think
necessarily we're all
you've
supposed
done
to
a really good
be.
job of
Yeah.
touching on that and explaining what that is. I have a bit of a background in it from my schooling, so this is something that we talked about quite a bit in gender studies is how people select relationships, the evolution of relationships, when monogamy became something, the idea of marriage out of love even is a relatively new concept in the history of human existence. Marriage was not always out of love. And so it's interesting to see the evolution and differences in how people court or how people find relationships. And you have a consensual agreement between two parties, and I think that's fine. So thank you for taking a moment to be a bit vulnerable to talk about that with everyone. So
Anytime.
shifting gears here for just a moment. If you're just now joining, you're going, what is going on in this stream? This is Suited Up. We're joined by Emerald Empress. She's our first guest, and we still have two more. You don't want to go anywhere. We got a lot more hot topics to cover. Before we wrap up, because the time has just cruised by, I'd like to know, is there anything coming up event-wise, things that you want to promote or that you're passionate about that the viewers now should know about?
I have a lot coming up. So if anybody wants to find out what is coming up in the near future, it is all posted on my Instagram. But like I said, I have my 3-year anniversary coming up. It's not only my 3-year anniversary, but it is my 10K fave party. And also, I just hit 8 milli. So that is this Saturday at at 9 p.m. I'm also on Chronic Chris's featured show this Saturday. Which is going to be super fun. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also a judge and scorekeeper for the Gibberish. So that is today at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in about an hour and 40 minutes. If you want to see that, that's in Moody stream. It's super fun, and you're guessing the Gibberish. But tomorrow, if you want to have some fun, it is Thursday. It's an attempt was made every Thursdays at noon Eastern Standard Time with Emerald Empress. It is a variety game show with drawing, spelling, acting, and a whole bunch more. It's super fun. It's where people become vulnerable and act, and
They do their
it's a
best.
great time. Yeah, they do their best. They make an attempt.
An attempt was made. You heard it here from the hostess herself. Hit the favorite button, and she's right there. She goes by Emerald Empress, shining bright in the box there. Hit the favorite. Thank you so much for being here. It's always
Thank you again
great.
for having me so much. I appreciate it.
Definitely, definitely. Hey, that's Emerald Empress. She's in the box. Make sure you hit the favorite on her. Thank you so much for doing what you do. She was right there. My name is Chris Casper, and I do appreciate you for being here. This is a show that happens every
Thank you so much, Chris.
Friday. Thank you. It happens every Wednesday. There's a day of the week that this happens, and we're gonna figure it out together. But yes, my name is Chris Casper. Thank you so much for being here. What do we have on the docket today? Well, we just got done talking with Emerald Empress, and right now Lucifer should be requesting the box because he is the second guest. He's a musician. He's known to turn up the heat on the app sometimes and win a contest or two. So we're going to talk with him about all the movies he's been making and how he feels he is positioned in the community. And then last up, we have someone who is a bit of a philanthropist, someone who is knowledgeable, well-educated, and studying all throughout the world, looking to pass on knowledge and insight to anyone who passes by her stream. Really excited to talk with LR1111 in just a little bit. You do not want to miss that. A lot of great content coming up. Quick shout out to our top gifters so far this evening. We have Boss VIP / top badge Groovy Beach in 9th spot. In the 10th spot, we have Matthew, the recently rebranded More Miserables. He's now Matthew, so I don't have to pretend to know how to say that. In 8th place, we have Masterpiece 808. Shout out to my playlist family there. We have Cowboy Just J 802 in the building. Still miss you, my friends. Good to see you. In the 6th place spot, we have Brittany's Paranormal. In 5th place, we have our last guest, LR1111. 4th place, our next guest, Lucifer. In 3rd place, we have Bugs' future wifey. We don't know if Bugs knows that or no. It's Just Low-Key in the 3rd spot. And Just Low-Key, I think you were also on Missy's show the other day. We had a great time on that. And in the 2nd place spot, we have Alexa on Fire, who does or does not know if I see comments. And in the 1st place spot, with over 9,000 diamonds, going for the boss of the week and having that cool entrance for next week's edition of Suited Up. We have Tim the Trucker. Thank you so much, Tim, for all your generosity and support. And a special thank you to you for being here. All right, at this time, we're going to welcome our second guest of the evening. He's turning the heat up, but you may still need a sweater because it's cold out. I don't know. We need to think about these things. Lucifer, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Appreciate everybody for watching.
Hey, we appreciate you, my friend. This has been a long time coming. You've been supporting and viewing the show for a hot minute now. And I think it's about time that we get to know each other a little bit publicly in front of everybody.
It's not a secret no more that we're friends.
We're friends now. That's exactly what it is. You're a musician, which pulls on my heartstrings because whether it's country, jazz, rap, whatever, I have a respect for the craft and the art because I think it's one of the most interesting forms of expression. How long have you been a musician?
Since I was about 14, I picked up the electric piano, and then from there I picked up the pen.
The pen. So, early teen, getting introduced to music. Was there a specific person or an event, a time that influenced you to get started, or were you just chilling at home one day and saw a keyboard sitting there like, let's go?
It's funny. The first album I ever purchased was a collaboration album of Britney Spears and Eminem, the Eminem Show, and then the song where Oops, I Did It Again came out, and from there it just went on.
So Britney Spears and Eminem influenced you into starting music?
And mind you, I'm in the streets of the Bronx listening to DMX, Biggie's coming up, Jay-Z, and those are the two guys that I'm sitting here listening to.
Yeah. You ever listen to Big Pun?
He was one of my favorites coming up and very inspirational as well.
Yeah. He's
one thing that also influenced rapping was in my neighborhood coming up. There was not many activities to do, so most people spend their time in the park playing basketball. And if you wasn't playing basketball, you was against the fence, rapping and rap battling within the area. Now, every once in a while, the team from your neighborhood will win a tournament and have to travel to another neighborhood. And the rappers on the fence will have a chance now to rap to other rappers in another neighborhood. And then from there, it just kept going. And the people behind me and representing my neighborhood, it gave me the emotion to keep going and get better at it because I felt like I was letting down my neighborhood when I went to the other neighborhoods and rapped against them. So it was pressure as well.
That's really interesting. I don't know if you watch South Park, but there's an episode where there's the Little League team and Stan's dad keeps getting into baseball fights with the other dads. It was like a side series on the side of the baseball. That's like what that reminds me of. But so you were busy battle rapping on the side as a teenager? How old were you when you first started doing battle rap?
My first actual battle rap, I was 15. And
15?
I had moved to Virginia. And they kind of set me up. I was just minding my business in seminar class and listening to rap, and some guy comes up to me. I remember his name was Ice. Hey man, you like rapping? I said, yeah, I do like rap. He said, meet me over here at this time. And when I get there, there's 20 people surrounding me, and they got this guy just spitting bars at me. Unfortunately, lucky for me, I'm from New York, and he's from Virginia wearing a Jets jacket, and the Jets jacket was really like beat up. So I just picked at that, and that's what gave me the upper hand.
So your style of battle rap, you may be surprised. I actually followed battle rap for a little while with Conceited, and oddly enough, Conceited and I crossed paths later in life. But what would you say your style is? Are you more relating to your life? Are you trying to pick apart your opponent personally? Was it all jokes? Were you corny? Were you more like gangster style? Like what was your approach?
There was a science to me. Like I tried to rap if my opponent was rapping in one syllable, then I try to do 2-syllable rhyming, 3-syllable rhyming, or some rappers they like to end their rhymings with N-words, like N-word rhyming, but there's also mid-word rhyming and front-word rhyming and more of a technical way of rapping. Like I stay away from curse words when I rap, and I like to touch into more of the intellectual side.
Interesting. Talk to us a little bit more about that you have an interest.
Rebuttals, being witty, quick on your toes, the writing aspect as well. A lot of people think that to be a good rapper, you have to be a freestyler. But writing is what strengthens your rapping ability the most. Reading and writing is what you got to do. And even people who are freestyling, they're still recycling bars. You just don't know it. They might have done a freestyle 2 weeks ago, and now a line from there is being said here. Writing is very important to rapping.
That's interesting. It's super interesting. And if you're interested in what's going on, we've got Lucifer in the box. Make sure you're hitting the favorite button. This is Suited Up. We do this every Wednesday at 9. It's an interview and talk style show. We have one more guest coming up still. We're learning about Lucifer and how he was getting hustled into doing rap battles unknowingly and taking down his opponents. Do you to this day still do battle rap? Are you still a musician?
Yeah, I still write a lot. And I got a couple of little snippets on my Instagram that I posted recently. And when I get to go into random battles, I've battled almost everybody on this app. Anybody on this app who thinks they can rap has faced me at least one time.
Okay. That's so people join your stream, they can expect to see you starting to put out some lyrics, bars, you name it, you're gonna go for it.
Yes, it's the vibes. They can jump in my box, challenge me. They can speak to me about their journey. We can exchange rappers, music, songs, any type of anything that can help our craft or sharpen our pen.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So battle rapper, I know that you said too that you had moved around a few times. So you lived in the Bronx, and you also went to Virginia. Have you moved anywhere else? Maybe somewhere a little warmer?
Dominican Republic.
Wow. What was your time there like?
Okay, so at the time, my parents thought it was a good idea to leave me out there. So they sent me over there thinking it was a round trip, but it was a one-way. And when I got over there, I was finally with my father for the first time. It was supposed to be like a discipline session. And I was stuck over there for 4 months.
How old were you?
At the time, I was 21.
You were 21 and they were like, we got to get you on the straight path here.
I was at a bad point in my life.
You were at a bad point.
But it wasn't much of a punishment. I had a lot of fun over there.
They're like, it's supposed to be bad, but they sent me to my room with my Game Boy and TV, so it didn't really work out.
Now I did learn a lot. I learned a lot in Dominican Republic. I learned to basically like for example, running water. People just let the water run and don't make too much of it. In the Dominican Republic, you don't have hot water. You don't have electricity most of the time. And there's a lot of things that we take for granted here that I learned being over there not to.
Okay.
So it was a good experience.
So running water, food. Did you make any new friends over there?
Oh yeah, I made a lot of good friends. I met a couple of musicians over there as well. I recorded one track in Spanish as well.
Wow. I know that you speak multiple languages too.
Yes.
Yeah, so English, Spanish, and there's a third one that I found out about, which really piqued my interest. What's that third language that you know?
Habari sa asubuhi, habari yako mwalimu. That is Swahili.
And I got that Swahili. At what point and where did you pick up Swahili?
My father is half Dominican and half from Gambia, West African. So his grandfather was very strict on making sure he kept the culture, and it died a lot within our family, but my father always tried to keep it alive a little bit.
Wow. And so to this day, do you still practice speaking it? Is it something that you feel fresh on?
No, I haven't spoken it in like maybe over 10 years.
Okay. So that first thing that you busted out there, that was for the show. You were like, hang on, I know a little bit.
Well, my father called me, he will talk to me in Swahili. I've lost communication with him. Like I don't speak to him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. But regardless of that circumstance, you did end up making it back to the U.S. Were there any conditions or boundaries put on there, like, hey, if you're gonna come back to the U.S. and live here, this is what has to happen? Was anything like that going on?
There wasn't. People actually missed me. They were happy I came back, and I learned my lesson. I came back. I started working, making my own income, and I got away from everybody and started just doing my own thing.
Okay. So there's a whole medium or middle part there that's happened too, because you talked about your early life, and we know quite a bit about who you are as a streamer, and a little bit anyway, just from the battle rapping and what you do in battles. And by the way, while we're talking about Lucifer being a streamer, make sure you're hitting the favorite button on him, because our second guest this evening, there's still a whole lot more to talk about. You don't want to miss any of it, including our conversation with LR1111. What happened in those middle years where you came back to the U.S., but you haven't been into the streaming quite yet. What were you up to?
So at that time, I was really probably into just having a huge social life. I was working as a salesman for Verizon, and somewhere in between, I was also working as a technician, reprogramming motherboards under toll plazas. So those two jobs kept me busy, and then I was just partying, hanging out with my friends, clubbing, and doing a lot of just living life at the moment, traveling and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
then I guess I lived life too fast, and I just got tired of it. I just wanted to chill, be home, do my things, write, read, um, work on my music. And
sure.
then in the process, I met this platform, and this platform it was really important to me because it allowed me to approach a lot of different people, learn how to cater to different demographics, move a crowd, and mentally spar with other people, understand different ideologies, philosophies, and it gave me a bigger, broader understanding of life, just being here with all these people.
What that was my follow up there is what is the perception you have of the live community? I guess where do you feel like you fit in, or what is it that you do within the live community? Because your name does pop up, and depending on who you talk to, they have a different perception. And I'm curious of what your thought is on that, and maybe if there's anything that you've done to help influence or perpetuate some of the different ideas that come up.
Well, to me, again, the rapping, being that I'm a rapper, it allowed me to watch the rapping industry very closely, and it allowed me to pay attention to reality shows. And to me, live streaming is almost a theatrical to me. It's us
Mm,
embodying our alter egos and entertaining these people. And if I'm getting people to take what I'm emulating at face value, I'm doing a good job, because like if you're watching a movie and you believe that there's actually a monster there, the script is good, and this is all the script to me. And and that's what it is to me. It's a theatric. It's just us embodying our characters, our alter egos, and in the process as well, we are influential because a lot of people have came to my stream, and from my stream branched out to be great streamers, have became boss badges, top badges, and have gained a big fan base. And as well as there are people that get through depression, anxiety. I don't know how I do it, but these people tell me this all the time. Hey, you helped me get through this day. You helped me get through that. I love coming to your stream and just listening to what you spoke about the other day. And I might not be organized about it. I might not. It's not. It's everything is freestyle, but it's
mhm.
touching people in one way or another.
So the person that we have sitting in front of us in the chair right now, you said that this can be theatrics, theater, could be like a movie where the actors are in on the gig. The person that we have sitting in front of us, would you say that this is more authentic? Is this
Yes.
more representative of who you are through and through?
Yeah. Right now, you're getting me right now. 100%, because you have to keep a guard up, because when you're being watched, you don't know who's watching you and who's watching you for what reason. When you enter a random battle, you don't have an idea if this person's going to tell you good morning or flick you off. You don't know. So
Mm,
you have to keep a certain approach for everything. So with you, I know what we're here for. We're here to get to know each other. We're here so people can see me from a different light that they probably won't get to on my stream.
right. Yeah. So here's my challenge and how I'd like to give. I wouldn't say challenge. I just like to position the frame of mind. So I think when we tap into a movie or we watch something like that, we're all at an understanding of what we're doing is meant to be art or is meant to be a performance. I think that depending on who you talk to and their streaming experience, they're expecting the other person to be the other person. They're expecting a connection of some sort. Do you think that performing and giving theatrics makes it more difficult for people to develop a connection with you? Or do you think that the persona that you put on as a broadcaster has an entertainment value that outweighs people needing to get that authenticity?
There is a truth to that, as to that, but as well, now your core fan base, the people that invest time in watching every day, they will understand how to read behind between the lines. They will understand the hidden Easter eggs, your humor, and to them, it's priceless. They won't be able to get that anywhere else. Now,
Hmm,
a first onlooker might get the wrong idea and create their own thought of it, and it might not be what it is. But if they take their time and understand, you can't just go read the book, read the first 3 pages of a book. You got to sometimes go a little
sure.
further.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I also believe that we have a responsibility if we want to be given that chance, the burden of being given that gift of someone taking the time to get to know us is to give a foundation for people to want to walk through that door.
Even
So
the name
that
Lucifer. Even the
so
name
that yeah,
Lucifer.
that is actually that is funny. You read my mind as I was going to tee it up. Is so then why then did you land on a name that stirs up emotion? Why is the name Lucifer what you picked?
Because everything is ran off emotions. So even a person who thinks badly of you is still invested in you. And then that person will still come and gravitate to me and then say, oh, he's not that bad. But then also on top of that, it was metaphoric reasons. Like I'm a rapper. Lucifer's the angel of music. Within the word Lucifer says the word cipher, rap ciphers, fire, we spit fire. So it was a lot of things. And I always told myself, why do people dare not take this name? Because they're gonna think you worship the devil, because now they're gonna think you're demonic, you're bad. That's not the case. When my legacy is all said and done, and they think of Lucifer, they will no longer think of the devil, they'll think of me.
Wow, that's quite the task.
Even something greater has happened on the app. In a funny, joking way. Anybody named Lucifer on this app works for me, basically. In a sense, if a guy named Lucifer does not mean takes a point and somebody puts Lucifer in their name, they're automatically going to correlate with me. So there are people there marketing me. They don't even have an idea they are.
Okay, before we continue this thought, I do have to give another plug. Oh, look at that time. Make sure you're hitting the favorite button on Lucifer. We're getting the hot takes here. So if you're missing the show, you're missing some show. Hit the favorite button on it. We still have LLR coming up. A lot more show, a lot more content. We do every Wednesday, 9 p.m. You say it how you think it, how you feel it. And I think that has earned the respect from a lot of people in the community. I think it's also polarized people within the community. And I don't know that there's a right or wrong answer to that. But that's the point of having these types of open discussions where we're able to peel back some of those layers like we learned in Shrek. So Lucifer, if you wanted someone to have a takeaway of like who you are, because you said today it's authentic, no games, no acting, this is what it is. What do you think the real takeaway someone should have is if they see this stream and they go, okay, maybe I'm going to give this guy a shot? What is the actual takeaway that you want them to have?
New York City, Bronx, New York, the whole city behind us. One takeaway they can have from me is, so they're going to take advantage of me after this. I'm actually a softie. I got a cat named Marshmallows that I saved in a blizzard.
Yeah.
I got another dog that I named after a person from Jersey Shore named J-Wow that I also rescued as well. I've rescued little birds that I found in the streets, squirrels and stuff, and reciprocated them until they were fine to go home. I do a lot of things like that. People think because I'm a rapper, I'm from New York, that I'm this aggressive. It's not the case. I just know how to be exhilarating, electrifying, and impactful. And that's all there's to it. I love everybody. I talk to a lot of people behind the scenes. Merry Christmas, happy birthday. I know how to communicate with everybody. I've networked with almost everybody. And those who know me love me since I've been to the app. I'm not blocked anywhere. There might be some people that might say this or that, but in reality, we all love each other.
I like that. I like that hot take. There's a saying that I've heard people apply before is that any press is good press. And I feel like you're someone who operates off that mentality. Hey, if my name is something that they're speaking, then I've probably done something right. Now, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but I can see where the argument is made. So
I've always been very open. When I started streaming, I used to stream in front of my building with my building number there. My name is Richard Alexander Gonzalez. I've never been scared of that. Anybody can look me up. They're only going to find good things about me.
Okay. Hey, and I never meant to imply that they would. But hey, thank you so much for being here. Any other things that you like to plug? Shout out what we've got you. We're looking a little tighter on the time. I want to make sure that you have that chance.
Oh no, believe it or not, I want to thank a lot of people like Raven, who's been there for me through a lot of things, outside of the app, on the app, and she's helped me get. She's a big reason why I've gotten to the level I've gotten to. I got to also thank the one you're going to interview after me, LR. She's amazing as well. And there's a lot of other people. The people that watch me, the Bronx, New York, because that's what gave me character, discipline, attitude, and it allowed me to be able to view this app the way I do and approach it how I do.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, you for giving me the opportunity, because you're the man to see here.
Well, you are. The point is, my job is to make you as interesting as possible, and it's pretty easy when you're someone like yourself, because you know how to talk, you know how to entertain. So I'm just here to be the segue.
I gotta also shout out Good Listener, who's also working in behind the scenes, been a mentor to me. Much love to her as well too. Right now she's sick, so I wish she gets better.
That is true. Good listener, another featured show host. Yeah, we're definitely thinking about her. She's not been feeling the best recently, but she'll get better soon, hopefully, and we'll see her doing her show as well. Lucifer, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for adding some context and color to some of your personality and person that you are. I'm sure you probably, I know that you've influenced and reframed some people's perceptions of you today, and I'm excited about that. I'm happy that we had that type of conversation today.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys. And by the way, you all give me anxiety.
Hit the favorite button on him. His name's Lucifer. He's here to spark your interest. Hit the favorite button on him. He's got an iPad that can track him. He's fancy. Very cool. Thank you so much for being here.
So make sure you come check me out later.
he said I'm going to be on. Hit the favorite button. Thank you so much for being here, man. Really do appreciate it.
All right, man. Chris Casper, much love, man. Much respect.
Hey. My name is Chris Casper, as he just mentioned. This is Suited Up. It's a show that we do every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I've got to give a shout out to you for watching. Thank you so much for watching the show today. And I would also like to give a special shout out to our top gifters so far this evening. If we can also get LR to request the box, would appreciate it. In that 10 spot, we've got Bugs Future Wifey. It's just low-key. She said, I'm just low-key, and she's in that 10 spot. In 9th place, we have Brittany Sparanormal. Brittany Sparanormal. Oh, is it a pun? Brittany Sparanorm. Like, I'm illiterate. All right, in the 8th place spot, we have Just J. 7th place, we've got Basic Beaches. Who doesn't love a great beach? I like a beach. In 6th place, we've got Masterpiece 808. 5th place, Abibi. Thank you, Abibi. Wow, look at all these boss badges in a row. In 4th place, we've got Groovy's Beach. She's the mafia boss right now, apparently. In 3rd place, our top 3 gifters so far for this stream. I got to give a special thank you to Raven in the 3rd place spot. In the 2nd place spot, we have Alexa on fire. She's on fire in that number 2. And in the 1st place spot, looking to get the boss of the week in the stream, getting that gold entrance next week on Suited Up. We have Tim the Trucker. Thank you so much, Tim, for all your generosity and kindness. And thank you to you right now for watching and helping to support the show through your viewership. We've been doing this for 3 years. Come March, it will be 4? Will be 4 years come March. So that's a long time doing this show, but I'm so thankful each and every week that you show up, and it really just does mean the world. On that note, we have someone who's insightful, someone who is also wanting to challenge your perspective, maybe in a different way than Lucifer, but she goes by LR, and she's in the box. Thank you so much for being here, LR.
Hi, Casper. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everybody.
To know you a bit more. And out of the gate, I think something that really does set you apart is what your purpose, or you feel your purpose is on this platform. So in your own words, do you want to tell the viewers, what do you feel your purpose is on this platform?
So when I started this app, actually, I was searching for a friend. I came to New York. I was so lonely. So someone suggested me this app. I came here with no knowledge of Meet Me or this application. So when I came first, I was a little bit, because I came from underdeveloped country like Afghanistan, and then coming directly in Meet Me and this sort of live streaming, which was unknown to me. So at first I felt there are some people that they are not grateful that what they have, like in this part of the world, all this security, like education system is everything for them, not like Afghanistan, like schools are closed for girls and everything is now closed down for them. Still, they're not happy, and there are so many people that they have anxiety, they are depressed. So I found a reason to be here and to share the knowledge from those countries, and to tell them that how much blessing do they have, and they should be super happy for that.
Let's slow that down a little bit and elaborate on it because you touched on some huge points and things that are definitely worth diving into. One of the first parts is just where you're from. So you said you're an Afghan woman. How long were you in Afghanistan?
So I lived and grew up in Afghanistan until 2016. But from 2016, because of my job, I traveled almost all continent except Australia. I was in Africa, living in South Sudan, deep field level. I lived in Kenya, Turkey. I was in Switzerland country and knowing the concept of how it feels to live like in South Sudan, Afghanistan, and come back to like New York or Switzerland.
Wow, that is traveling. That is doing a lot of living. And I'm very curious about this too. You gave us a clue of a future talking point here, which is that the education system is not set up for girls and women to receive an education. But you have a job, you're very proficient, you're traveling, you're doing a lot of things. I imagine in order to do that, you did have to receive an education. How were you able to receive that? And how were you able to create the type of living for yourself that you just told us about?
Yeah. So if you know the concept of Afghanistan, 20 years American took place, and then everything was normal, and they supported a lot, especially women. Education system going well. So it was 2021 that Taliban took our back the country, and slowly
Mm,
they closed down the school and university for girls, and they stopped. So for 20 years, we had the luxury to get all the um, basic rights that other um, countries have it as a basic rights. So we
mm.
had that luxuries for 20 years, and I could manage. And also, I got my education there, and also a master degree in Turkey.
I really want to highlight what you said there. You said the luxury of education. The luxury of education is a powerful statement because it implies that it is lavish, that it is something that is extra. So do you believe that education is something that is a human right? So in your experience, do you believe that as a person we should all have that access, or do you believe that education is something that is somehow reserved?
Yeah. So when we have everything, we don't understand the value of it. For example, here
Mhm.
you have everything. So you can choose to get education or not. But in my country, every girl is dying to get education. I myself, I had one dream to have a bicycle. It is a basic things. But
Yep.
for me, it was a luxury. For here, it is a basic right. I believe that everybody, every human being should have the right to get education, basic human rights. But for us, it is luxury. I consider this for Afghan women as a luxury.
Wow. Yeah. I would definitely call it a privilege. It is definitely a privilege to have
It is.
access. It's
Yeah.
it's something that in your words you said it that we can take for granted. It's become normalized, and it's not something that in any recent history of where we are here in the West that has been in jeopardy. But for you, that is very much a reality. And if you're just now joining, we're joined by LR. She's in the box right now. We're having a conversation about international travels, education, so much more to go over. Please hit the favorite on her. And this happens every Wednesday at 9 p.m. To summarize some of this point here, you are an advocate. Is something that is very personal now for you. How have you, in current times, taken this to, uh, to bring awareness? How have you brought this to the surface? Is it something you do through your streams? Is it something that you do and advocate a lot in your personal time and personal life?
Actually, I'm working in a humanitarian section. We are giving, humanitarian response to all the world. I'm working, as I mentioned in my bio as well, in United Nations.
Mm,
So I traveled all countries and I know how it works. So how I contribute with that, besides having my job, I also in the live streaming, I share with my friends how it feels like to be an Afghan, and also beside that, I'm supporting 20 Afghan women, girls education in Afghanistan, and I'm trying to make it more. Um,
wow. So I want to slow that down run one more time. Did you say you were supporting 20 young women to help them get their education?
yes,
And
yes,
that
like
and that is not just through work, that is through even just your personal time.
Yes. So I have three sisters. They are all teachers, so they are at home now. So I'm trying to help them to get the salary, and then they are teaching at home, the girls. And also
Mhm.
there are some online classes that they are getting education, and also some learning skills like English and other languages. They are learning at home now.
Wow. And currently, are you living in the United States, or is there are you between countries?
I'm living in New York now.
In New York now. Okay.
Yes.
And how long have you been in the United States?
I came to United States on December 2021.
2021. Wow. And you said with that, you said on these streams, something that I work to promote and talk about is just understanding differences in culture and differences in living, standards of living. Um, what are some of the, I guess, highlights or things that come to the top of mind that you usually speak about or that you're passionate about?
It's very important for everybody to take a stand for all the world. We shouldn't think about ourselves only. That we are sitting here, we have all the privilege. We should also think about the things that people don't have it. I talk about it a lot in my live stream, and also the world should stand for Afghan women. They also need to get education, and
Mhm.
also um, one more thing that I would like to share is in my streaming goal is to share love and to everybody. Even there are some people that they hated me first.
Really?
Yesterday I had a very good time when someone, it took him 2 3 weeks hating on me and saying negative stuff about me. So yesterday finally he came up and said that how much he respect me. And this is my main goal, that to share love and how much I believe in sharing love. Even in hate there is love, I believe.
There's something so powerful about taking a general group of people or a person and humanizing it like you are. It's so difficult, I think, to keep that anger and that hate in your heart and retain those things when you develop a rapport with someone and realize this is an actual person and they have beliefs and values and hopes and dreams the same way that they do. And you're through having those conversations, you help to give people that opportunity to learn and be exposed to more than what they already are aware of. What do you hope for the future of your broadcasting? Do you hope to keep on this journey of enlightenment? Do you have other plans besides that?
I would like to apply for Top Badge, honestly, and then I'm working on some shows. One is for our knowledge sharing. Me and my team are working uh, uh, on finding analysis on how to do it, and also another is more entertaining about it's going to be on Friday, which is more dancing and singing and a game show. So this
Wow.
is my next goal.
Well, you're staying very busy. You have a lot of things going on, and we know a bit about what you do as a streamer. You work for the UN, which is a whole conversation of
Yeah.
itself. How long have you been doing that?
Working for UN or coming to the streaming world.
UN. How long have you been with the UN?
It is almost 8 years, but
Wow,
international level since 2016. I have been an international staff member. Yeah.
wow. There's so much to learn. I have some family that used to work in the Pentagon, and the stories of the travels, what other countries are like, and understanding the differences between what, like you said, we can take for granted. It's incredible. Do you have some places in the world that you hope to visit or that are on your list that you're going to visit?
Actually, I cannot say which country because I believe it is all in our mind. When we are happy, we could be happy even in deep field level. Like I had my best experience in South Sudan, which is you can't find even drinking water.
Wow.
And then I had hard time in New York. So that's why I think every country when you travel, it is an experience. And I would love to travel all the world, but I don't have any specific list in my
Okay. Yeah, I don't mean
agenda.
to imply that one country is better than another or to visit one place is better than another, but
Mhm.
surely visiting Australia is a different experience than visiting Japan. They come with very different, rich histories and cultures. I didn't know if one of those was something that was on your list. but maybe.
I didn't think about it honestly.
No, well, that's okay. You do a lot of traveling, and I'm sure throughout your life you will develop and create a whole long list of places that you've been, as you already have. So I'm looking at the time, and I want to make sure that if there's anything coming up, things that you'd like to promote, talk about.
I would like to thank all my friends and the people that supported me during this journey. And I would much appreciate if we all share positive energy, positive vibe, because people are struggling a lot. Here we just share love. That's
Yeah.
it. Thank
If you can be anything, why be an unhappy or unnice person, right? So choose kindness. That is a great philosophy to have. LR, what can we look forward to as far as your broadcasts go? Do you plan to continue to work on this top edge grind like you mentioned, or try and do a feature show?
Yes, me and Tim are working on a feature show which is going to be on Saturday or Friday. So it's going to be in next week. I don't
Awesome.
have the details now. Yeah.
Well, I know a guy, if you ever want to try and put that into action, that you should probably talk with. But we'll have to find out more about that later. So, LR, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you're hitting the favorite button on her. She's traveled the world hoping to influence peace into the hearts of many people. You're doing a great job at it. So, thank you so much for being here. Hit the favorite button on her. She's right there. Thank you, LR.
Much appreciated. Thank you for your time. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. She's right there. Hit the favorite button. There's so many things that we could still talk about. It's crazy how time gets uh, waned. Wane is waning. It's amazing how time can wane. It just runs away from you. My name is Chris Casper. Thank you so much for being here. I think I forgot to do my show plugs. That's how I knew I was really getting into it. So welcome to Suit Up. This is a show that we do every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Interview and talk where you get to meet some of your favorite streamers that you may not have met yet. I'd love to give you a special thank you for being here. This show can't be what it is without you. I know that I do a terrible job, and that's because this is featured and we have a lot of content to talk through. But I want to give a special thank you to our top 10 gifters this evening. One last time, we have Brittany's Paranormal, we have Just Jay, our basic beaches. What qualifies a basic beach versus like a non-basic beach? Do you think if they have the little parasol, like the little umbrellas that they stick in the stand, those are not basic beaches, no way. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Marty Party in the building at the number 7 spot. In number 6, we have Abibi. Thank you, Abibi. In 5th place, we have Groovy's Beach. All these beaches, people are missing it in the wintertime. Masterpiece rolling through at the 4th place, our top 3 for the stream. In 3rd place, we have Raven. In 2nd place, Alexa on Fire. And in 1st place, Tim the Trucker. Thank you so much, Tim, for being the boss of the week. My name is Chris Casper. One last shout out to our 3 guests this evening. We had Emerald Empress on the show, Lucifer, and LR1111. I hope you learned something. I hope you found a new favorite. I hope that you have a great rest of your night. No matter where you're at, what you're doing, my name is Chris Casper. You can follow me. If you hit the name at the top, it'll direct you to my Instagram page. There you can find content around the band that I'm in. You can find content around the collectibles that I do. You can also just see the profile where you can harass me. You can be like, Chris, why weren't you wearing a suit jacket today? I'll be like, because I couldn't find one that matched. But either way, I appreciate your support very much. I also have to give one last shout out, very special one, and that's a thank you to Ari, who helps to book the guests every week. She takes care of doing the flyer. I would honestly be lost without her help every week. If you can see her in the comments, make sure you give her a favorite. She even started live streaming recently, but she doesn't tell me when she goes live because she doesn't want me to visit, because she knows that I will gift her. But anyway, thank you so much, Ari, for doing what you do. Thank you to you for being here. As always, stream with respect. I will see you Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the rundown. Until then, much love. I'll catch you then.